Ultimate Band is a campus band, and their consent. Ultimate Band is a campus band, and they are concerned with, your entertainment. And so you can contact them. We'll put their numbers on the screens later on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second edition of the International Women's Day celebration in the University of Mines and Technology. This program is organized under the auspices of Ladies in Mining and Allied Professions in collaboration with the University of Mines and Technology. This program is also partly sponsored by CalBank Forward Together. And so I'm excited to be in this auditorium this morning, and I'm sure you are also excited too as well. Who can tell me the theme for this year's International Women's Day celebration? Who knows the theme globally for this year international? Not around globally. Okay, I see a hand over there. Thank you very much.
Please, it's a woman in leadership.
Thank you very much. I think that's partly that of the University of Mines and Technology main team. Hello. Yes, without wasting much time, we would want to move to the main program for today, and I would call my co-MC to start with that for us.
You are all welcome. We'll start with an opening prayer. We can't start this session without inviting God. So we'll call on UMaT SCC Wukom, Miss Deborah Gifty, or Said Bimpon to lead us in a short prayer. Please let's give it up for her as she comes.
Shall we bow our heads in prayer? Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for this day. We thank you for an opportunity like this to come and gather as women to listen to every single thing about women in leadership. Father, we ask that you would give us understanding and you would give us knowledge. And today would be glorious. In Jesus' name we pray with thanksgiving. Amen.
Thank you very much, Lady Deborah, for that wonderful opening prayer. Kindly be reminded that all the COVID-19 protocols are still in force, and so do not take off your nose mask. Make sure that you are seated at least a seat after, the other. Leave one seat in between when you are seated so that we can collectively help fight this pandemic. We would move to the next session, and that is to introduce the very important and distinguished people who are in our midst to grace the occasion. And to do that, I would want to invite Miss MFA Priscilla Ameya Kove to help us with the introduction of the very dignified people who are in our midst now. Miss MFA Ameya Kove. Kindly give her a round of applause even as she comes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is MFA. I just want to ginger us up a little. So when I say LIMAP, say transforming our generations. And when I say LIMAP, say shining ahead. Can we do that quickly? Okay, so the first one is LIMAP, transforming our generations. LIMAP, shining ahead. Okay, so 1, 2. LIMAP. LIMAP. So for UMaT, it is knowledge, truth, and excellence. Can we do that one also? UMaT.
Knowledge, truth, and excellence.
And CalBank. I think it's
Forward together.
CalBank.
Forward together.
CalBank.
Forward together.
Thank you very much. I'm here to introduce some dignitaries that are amongst us today. We are all dignitaries, but we'll introduce some. So generally we have FIASEC. Can I see students from Fiasman Senior High School? Give us a wave. Thank you. We have students from Community Vocational and Training Institutes. Can you give us a wave? Thank you. We have students from Takwa Senior High School. A wave. Welcome. And we also have students from Ideal College. A wave, please. And all students from University of Mines and Technology. Thank you very much. We also have ladies from Ladies in Mining and Allied Professions. Can we have you give us a wave, please? Thank you very much. Okay. So in our midst today, we have Dr. Etona Fiadonu. She's a lecturer of the Department of Geological Engineering, and she's a member of Ladies in Mining. Please give us a wave. Thank you. We also have Ms. Louise Persides. She is the leader of the delegation from the Community Vocational and Training Institute. Please give us a wave. Thank you. We also have Evelyn Na Dede from Fiasman Senior High School. Thank you. We have Mr. Jonathan Kweku from Ideal College. You're welcome. We have Mr. Emmanuel Kwansan Owodo. He is the president for the Graduate Students Association of Ghana, UMaT. You're welcome, sir. We also have Mr. Dennis Darko. He's the branch manager for Takwa Cow Bank. Please, is he around? Please give us a wave. Okay, he's at the back. Thank you. We also have Ms. Rosemary Johnson. She's the business development manager for Women Bank in Cow Bank. We also have Mr. Jonas Asari, the relationship officer for Cow Bank. He's at the back. Okay. And we also have presidents from the Chamber of Mines JCR. We have presidents from KT Hall JCR, Gold Hall JCR, the SRC president, TEWU president, Senior Staff Association president, and then the Ghana Association of University Administrators. I also want us to specially welcome Professor Grace Ofori-Sapong. She's the president for Ladies in Mining and Allied Professions. She's also the founder for Ladies in Mining and Allied Professions. We also have Dr. Mrs. Millicent Agangeva. She's a lecturer of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Welcome. We also have Lady Pastor Barbara Azanu of the Lighthouse Chapel International, Tamso branch. We also have the University Counselor and the head of the Counseling and Student Support Unit, Mr. Theophilus Robertson Ando. Welcome, sir. We also have Ms. Mami Esi Esaba. She's the president of Women in Engineering UMaT chapter. Okay. So in the course of the program, we may be introducing them as they come. Thank you for the opportunity.
Limab. Oh, we just forgot. Limab. Limab. Thank you very much. Please don't forget. There is a purpose of which we are gathered here, and to do us the honor of telling us why we are here. She is the Dean of SPS. She is the Dean of SPS. She is currently the acting Pro VC, the founder of LIMAP, of which we are here. And then she is Professor Grace Ofori-Sapong, but in LIMAP we call her Lady G. So please, let's give her a round of applause and welcome Lady G.
Thank you very much, Lady MC. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I hope your day is becoming brighter and brighter. On behalf of the ladies in mining and allied professions in Ghana, University of Mines and Technology, and Cow Bank, I welcome you warmly to the UMaT auditorium. In case you are wondering why you are here, in case you are wondering why you should spend your holiday in this auditorium, I want to assure you that your day will not be wasted. I want to assure you that you will leave this place fulfilled. And I want to assure you that the impression of this day will live with you forever. Today is a special day. It's a special day in the life of every human being on this earth. Today is the 8th of March, 2021, and it is the International Women's Day. So if for nothing at all, you are a partner of all the millions of people observing this special global day today. Today, as I said, is the International Women's Day. And what is the International Women's Day? It's a day set aside okay? And it is a call to action regarding celebrating the enormous achievements and impact of women and girls all over the world. It is a day set aside to raise awareness of the need to accelerate the campaign towards gender parity. It is a day set aside to urge women and girls on. It is a day set aside, I want to repeat that one, to urge women and girls on to brace themselves, to be resilient, to put their best foot forward, to rise above their limitations, to rise above their vulnerability, to rise above everything that draws women backwards, to rise above complaints settling into womanhood. This is a day for women to be aware that they can rise above all those things and move forward so that they can make a strong impact on society, so that they can bring change in this world, so that they can create a better future for the younger generation. Celebration of women and girls dates back a century ago, but the United Nations started the celebration of International Women's Day in 1975. And since then, different countries, different organizations have come on board. So anytime an organization feels ready, they start celebrating it in their own way. For us, ladies in mining and allied professions in Ghana, and the University of Mines and Technology, we started celebrating it last year. So last year, we had our maiden celebration, International Women's Day in UMaT. Today, we are celebrating the second edition of the International Women's Day in UMaT. And we have LIMAP, we have UMaT, and we have CalBank together because we want to increase the diversity. Last year, we celebrated it with the UMaT ladies, that is students of UMaT. This year, we have extended the horizon, and we have students from second cycle schools in our catchment area. So, this year and today, the International Women's Day, and our second edition in this auditorium and on this campus, we have a pack of activities. I'm sure you don't want to miss the panel discussion. You don't want to miss the message that will come from our chairman. The panel discussion is going to touch on every aspect of the theme. And what is the theme? The theme is Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World. And so the panel discussion will touch on financial emancipation. If we want to raise women, if women want to raise themselves and move ahead in life, they need to be financially sound. We want to talk about health, so we have a health personnel here. We need to be strong health-wise to be able to move on. We want to talk about education, of course. We need to educate ourselves, become knowledgeable to be able to move on. We want to talk about emotional intelligence and people's management. We have a counselor here to help us do that. Most of the time, women, we have problems when it comes to managing people. We always want to see ourselves ahead of anybody else. And that is why we settle into our womanhood and wait for other people to raise us. Today is a call to raise our own selves. We will also talk about the spiritual aspect of our lives. So we have a head pastor here who will help us so that we will become a complete human being. And all these will move us closer to our success point. As we choose to challenge ourselves, the MC asked, what is the theme? Okay, so the campaign theme is, I choose to challenge. I choose to challenge. And if the men are hearing us, I choose to challenge. It's not meant to challenge men. Okay? For me, the first person that should be challenged is who? Our own selves. We need to challenge ourselves. If you keep on, you are interested in challenging other people, you will not move on. You will waste your time. If you challenge your own self, you will become alert. So the campaign theme says, I choose to challenge. A challenge world is an alert world. From challenge comes change. So as we choose to challenge ourselves, we will be alert. We will be aware of the things that are not good, that are not well placed in our own lives. We will change certain things that are not good, and we will look for change regarding the way we can do things better for our own selves. And as we do that, I tell you that wherever we find ourselves, we will be able to leave an indelible ink. We will be able to move on. And our absence will leave a vacuum that will be very difficult to fill. So today we are here to celebrate the second edition of the International Women's Day in UMaT. Please relax in your seats and fully participate in this program. And as I mentioned earlier, the impression of today will live with you forever. Enjoy yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Grace Ufori-Sapong, for letting us know the reason why we are here. But Prof, you gave the question I gave, you gave them an anapo. I wanted to give someone a present, but because of, you have mentioned it, I won't give the present again. So now we know that globally the theme is, I choose to challenge. Can we repeat that? Say, I choose to challenge. Kindly lift up your hand and say, I choose to challenge. Prof said that it is the creation of awareness for us to rise above our limitations and our vulnerability. The challenge is not to, say that I am going to challenge my husband, I'm going to challenge my fellow man, but the challenge is yourself. And so let this sink into our heads, and let us internalize this even as we celebrate today. And so we want to also recognize the presence of our virtual audience. We have students from the Railway School watching us currently live via our handles. That is the UMaT official handle on YouTube. And so we would want to recognize the presence of all those who are watching us virtually. And so we would be moving to the next very important step, and that is the introduction of the chairman for this very occasion. And this is a very powerful man that I am not worthy to introduce, a man who is very powerful and yet so humble. One of the fun facts about this man is that he has roasted corn as his favorite delicacy. And that is a very powerful man, but roasted corn is his favorite delicacy. Without wasting much time, I would want to invite the John the Baptist in the person of Ms. Bernice Walanyo, an assistant registrar with the Institutional Affiliation Unit, University of Mines and Technology, to do us the honors by introducing the chairperson.
Good morning. I'm happy to see all of you here. On this special occasion, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the chairman for today. The theme for this year's International Women's Day is Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World. Our chairman over the years has been empowering women to take up leadership positions in academia, industry, and other sectors. He is a professor of minerals engineering. He is a distinguished and internationally acclaimed scholar and business-oriented person. He was the lead country researcher for the United Nations Women in Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining Africa projects. He has also worked as an investigator on several international and local projects. He is a highly gifted communicator, mentor of Barack Obama's Young Africa Leadership Initiative. With a standing ovation, help me welcome the chairman for this program, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Mines and Technology, Professor Richard K. Amankwa.
Thank you very much. Please take your seats. And thank you for the introduction. I'm happy to be here with you. And so far, I've enjoyed all the items that I have witnessed. I didn't know that we have an ultimate band on campus made up of students. I'll take note of that, and we'll be inviting you to our programs. Good job. Somebody, a man called Bovey, said that next to God, we are all indebted to women. First, for life itself, and for making it worth living. So, if you're a woman here, we are indebted to you. Thank you for life itself and for making it worth having. The philosophy about women and what they can do and cannot do has been debated for many years, and it continues to be debated. Even for countries where they pride themselves in the fact that they are the leaders of democracy, at a point in time, women could not vote. You can campaign for your husband, but you cannot vote for him. That was the principle. And this changed not too long ago. In our society, we also have some of these. In other countries, for instance, if you're a woman, you cannot drive. Even if you have money to buy a vehicle, you cannot drive it. Buy it and give it to your husband and sit by him as he drives. Even sometimes in the church, what women can do and cannot do is still debated. We say a woman cannot be an elder of a church. And therefore, we keep doing what this woman can do here, what women cannot do, and so many things. In our local society, we have some proverbs and sayings which also demean women. For instance, we say that Obaton in Yadwa, onto to draw. Those of you who understand that can, it means that a woman can sell garden eggs, but not gunpowder. It means that you are limited to the softer skills of life. Even Obato Tua, madam, if you buy a gun, you have to put it in a man's room. You don't have the right to keep a gun in your room. Indirectly, still relegating women to some relatively soft skills and a part in society which requires that we all look at it all over again. Therefore, when we talk about Women's Day, it is important for us to know that it is worth celebrating and it is worth recalling. That is why I'm happy that today LIMAP has teamed up with the University of Mines and Technology and CalBank to celebrate this day. In UMaT, many of our activities these days are geared towards thinking local but acting global, which means that whatever we do locally, we should have a global understanding and how far it can go. So I'm happy that LIMAP has led the way for us to celebrate International Women's Day today. I like this issue about challenge. And as the president rightly said, it is not about challenging men. Believe me, women should remain women, and men should remain men. There should be no challenge between men and women. There is this advert that was on TV many years ago where the man drinks and the woman goes ahead and drinks. The man does one thing, the woman does it. And at a point in time, the man will remove his singlet and said, do same. And the woman looked at it and said, no, this one we cannot do. Don't follow the challenge of men to the point where you remove your bra in public, just to show that you can also remove your bra. That is not the idea. It is about challenging yourself to be the best woman you can ever be. It is about standing strong and saying that, look, for me, the sky is a springboard, not a limit. So you stand on the sky and move on to the higher galaxies ahead, perhaps places that men have not dared even to think about. So it is my hope that as we celebrate Women's Day, we all, but especially the women, you will not go around a table and fight over the single chair that is left to be occupied. But you will create more chairs for more women to sit around the table to be part of the decision-making process, and not just to fight over single chairs around big tables. Fight together, challenge each other together, and let the sky be a springboard and not a limit. On that note, I declare the second edition of the International Women's Day at UMaT duly launched. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Richard K. Amankwa. He said something very profound, that it is not for us to fight over the one single seat that is available at the table, but it is our duty to create more chairs for other women to join us in the decision-making process. Thank you very much for that thought-provoking, submission and acceptance speech. Launch of the second edition of the International Women's Day celebration in the University of Mines and Technology. Let us give him a round of applause. He deserves better. Let us do it. He deserves better. He deserves better. Come on. Come on. To sit under a professor, to glean from his knowledge, to be a professor is not easy. It took him so many years to get to where he is. And for him to come and share with us free consultancy, at least we need to acknowledge. Thank you so much, Professor Richard K. Amankwa, Vice Chancellor of the University of Mines and Technology. We would then be moving to the panel discussion, but before that, we would want the ultimate band to take us through some 5 minutes of musical interlude, and let us sit back and enjoy what they have prepared for us today, International Women's Day celebration. Let us sit back and relax and enjoy the musical interlude. So ultimate band, the time is now yours for. So.
Yeah, 2. Sound. Monitors. This is still the ultimate band. So since we are celebrating women, we want to talk about how royal our women are, how dear they are to us. So there's a song called She's Royal. Never seen someone shine until they pull the eye, until like 25. Yeah. Oh yes, let me get my wrist right and then approach you. We're gonna treat you like a money supposed to. You never have to cry. I know every man can relate to when the boy must special someone. She's royal, so royal, and I one day in my life I never to one of the queen. The way she moved to the end. She has the qualities of a queen. She's a queen. With the natural beauty, no need for makeup to be a cutie. She's a queen, my beauty a queen. And when they ask what a woman is made of, she's not afraid, not ashamed of who she is. She's and I won't tell you my life. I've never to one of the queen, but to the name that I see your eyes. She's a queen, so queen. I know your eye, but I know everything how to fly. So I never leave your side. You're still with me in the trying times. Yeah, and she says she know mine. Cause I know woman wasn't hard to find. So I would be your side, and never let them get at this time. Yeah, I know many men are trying, but she needs to be more than a man and baby cry. She's so and I won't tell in my life. I never been the one, so when I pray, the worship up to her own feet. She had the qualities of a queen, so supreme. With the natural beauty, no need for me again to be a cutie. She's a queen, so supreme. And when they ask what a woman is made of, she's not ashamed, not afraid of who she is. And she's royal, so royal. And I won't take my life. I never been the one, so when I'm a queen, until the name that I see your eyes. Natural beauty. This song is to celebrate all the ladies in this room today. Saya kasungsuyan suwayanganyansa Ewa sumawa buto na huweti se Ibiniba Ibiniba Iyoba Ibiniba Saya kasungsuyan suwayanganyansa Ewa sumawa buto na huweti se So
time is up.
Let us give it for them. Ultimate Band. Again, they are a campus band, and I'm very grateful and thankful that the Vice Chancellor recognized them and would be calling them anytime soon for future programs. Thank you very much. If you also want to contact them, you can contact the leader, that is Ni Boru. We'll put his number again on the screen for you to contact him. Once again, this program is partly sponsored by Carl Bank, Forward Together. We also have our virtual presence at the UMaT Railway School at Isikado, and we recognize your virtual presence too as well. And so we are moving to the panel discussion, but until then, we would want to find out your expectations for today. We have from COFTI, we have from FIASEC, we have UMaT students to being in this auditorium, and we want to find out what exactly your expectations are so that the panelists would be able to ensure that they dissect the topic in a way that would meet your expectations. So I would want volunteers to help me with what your expectations, are coming to this very program. So we have COFTI. Can I get a volunteer? Just tell us what exactly you are expecting to hear today or what you want to know today. Kindly raise up your hand if you want to speak. From COFTI. Tasco, what are your expectations as we are celebrating the greatness and the great achievements of women globally? What are your expectations to hear from the panelists? Anyone from the University of Mines and Technology who wants to say something? So we have a hand over there. Kindly pass the mic as we... What are your expectations? It is a day that is set aside for us to rise above our vulnerabilities and our limitations. It is a day that is set aside for us to celebrate the greatness. How women, they have defied the odds in society to ascend to various portfolios, both in academia and also in industry. So thank you. You tell us your name, your class, and what your expectations are for this very program.
Okay, I'm Samuela Manyaglago. I'm in CE1.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to gain motivation, and then I want to boost my confidence. Anytime I go to programs like this, by the time I leave, I'm so confident that I can do something to change the world. So that's why I came here.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let us give it up for her. She wants to be stirred up. She wants to be motivated by the stories that will be shared by our panelists. Any other, person who wants to share with us what her or his expectations are for this very program. We also have in our midst Professor Solomon Nunu. He is the president of the University Teachers Association of Ghana UMaT chapter. You are welcome, Professor Solomon. Your expectations, do we have any other person? Raise up your hand, let us know what your expectations are. Okay, so I would now be mentioning, I would just come to you randomly to hear and to seek your view as to what you're expecting. Okay, so we have a student here who wants to share with us. We have a student here who wants to share with us her expectations. So also in our midst, we have Mrs. Hawa Salifu. She is part of the Girls Education Unit Ghana Education Service, that is Takwa in Swahim. If you are around, kindly give us a wave as we celebrate you. Wow. Kindly do it better. Kindly do it better. Kindly do it better. Wow. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. We also have the SREC president of the University of Mines and Technology in the person of Kisi. Kisi, you are most welcome. Kindly give us a wave if you are around. Wow. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. So, your expectations for the program?
My expectation after this program is I want to know how a lady can challenge herself after the program.
Wow. Thank you very much. Your name and your school again?
I'm Benedicta Vome.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Benedicta. Thank you very much. So we will now be moving to the main panel discussion, the session we have been waiting for all this while also. because we are going to be impacted with great tips and knowledge from seasoned speakers, both from academia and also industry. And without wasting much time, I would want to invite the moderator for this particular session in the person of Miss Mami Boama Poku, the former GRASAC Vice President and member of Ladies in Mining and Allied Professions. With a round of applause, let us invite her to the podium as she moderates the remaining session of the panel. Kindly continue to help her as she comes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abari. Once again, you're all welcome to the second edition of the International Women's Day here in UMaT. Like he said, my name is Mami Boama Poku, and I'll be the moderator for this session. I am highly privileged and honored to not do this alone. I have some wonderful ladies and gents to join me for this session, so without wasting much time, I'll go ahead and then call them out. And I would have with me Associate Professor. She's the acting Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Mines and Technology, the founder and president of LIMAP in the person of Professor Grace Ofori Sapon. I would also have with me the head pastor of Lighthouse Chapel, Tamsobrat, Lady Pastor Barbara Azanu. And also with them, we would have the head of Women Banking, Carl Bank, Ms. Rosalind Akon. Then we will have the pediatric nurse of the Government Hospital Takwa, Ms. Gladys Mausi Fume. And then the lecturer at the Department of Environmental and Safety Engineering, Ms. Vivian Isabella Seshi. And also a very wonderful gentleman. He's the head of counseling and student support unit of UMaT, in the person of Mr. Robertson Ando. And the very last person, but not least, is the president of Women in Engineering, UMaT chapter, Ms. Mami Esi Esaba. So yes, this will be the wonderful ladies and gentlemen who will be having this session with me. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so as we know, the theme for this year's International Women's Day celebration is the Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World. Now, the first question that comes into mind is that how can we achieve an equal future? So what does it mean to achieve an equal future? I would like Prof. Grace Ofori Sapon to help us with that. How can we achieve an equal future? What does it mean to achieve an equal future?
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Yes, to achieve an equal future is to choose to challenge ourselves, as I have said already. When we talk about an equal future, and listening to the VC's message, see, yes. In some parts of the world, even to date, women are not paid the same as men, even when they do the same jobs. In some parts of the world, they also look at sharing unpaid jobs, sharing equally the household, chores. But for us, if we talk about an equal future, we are looking at a future where women will also have the chance to air their views, where women will brace themselves so that when they make a case or when they make a contribution, it will be taken seriously because they know what they are talking about. An equal future where women can rise above themselves and they can also influence the society around them. An equal future where women can be president of a nation and there will not be any discrimination. Thank you.
Oh, all right. Okay, thank you very much, Prof. I have another question, not to Prof, but to Mr. Robertson Ando. We've heard a lot of times about women empowerment events. There are a lot of women empowerment groups, all in the strive to achieve an equal future. So for you as a man, from your perspective as a man, do you think women are working enough to be empowered? Or what would you say? How do you see the various agenda to achieve women empowerment? What do you have to say about that, Mr. Ando?
Thank you. I think for the nation Ghana, we are doing wonderfully well in terms of achieving equal future, empowering women. Women have all what it takes to achieve the best that they can. If we do remember, let's say in the elementary school, we have women coming first in classes. We have women being among the first 10. If at the basic level, women can be among the best 10, then what makes you think that at the highest level, we cannot have women being among the best 10? Today in Ghana, women professors are everywhere. And thankfully in UMaT and amongst us, we have our own Professor Grace, a very strong woman. She's enough a model. If women can achieve at the highest and ultimate level, then I think we don't need to talk far away from where we see women can play as role models. And she is our first role model. And for men, there's this story of a white man who visited an African country and wanted to give candies to the children. So yes, whoever can run and touch that tree will have all these candies. What did the young children do? They all held themselves together, they ran together, and they all touched the tree. And so they got the candies and shared among themselves. As men, women are not competing with us. We are supporting them, they are supporting us. And so we have to give room for women to achieve at their ultimate level. We need to support them. When women are supported to achieve, the world becomes the safest place to stay.
Becomes the safest place to stay. But I might have been wondering, as a woman, if you want to achieve the best, or if you want to be your best, I believe there are some challenges. So I would want to know some of the challenges the women here especially face in their daily, day-to-day. So, Lady Pastor Barbara, I understand you're the head pastor for Lighthouse Chapel. And what are some of the challenges you face, and how do you overcome them as a head pastor? Yes.
Thank you very much for your question. Basically, everybody goes through a challenge, or as you run your day-to-day, your secular work, or anything. One of the key words, I would like you to put it in your mind, that all your roles are important. So be it a mother, be it a student, be a pastor, you can be whatever, because women, we juggle a lot of things at the same time. See to it that all your activities are important, so that the strength that you give to each of them will be the same. What happens is this: at times you have to come to work, at times you have to take your children from school, you are a student, as a worker, you are a mother, you are a sister to somebody. How do you go about it? Make sure that you see that each and every one of them is important. Then also, every one of us here need to seek help. It's not easy, but seek help from the right people. How do you go about it? At times, you might not have people that are closer to you to help you, but you have to seek it even by paying for the help, so that you can achieve or go higher. I would like to use myself as an example. Being a pastor is mainly a male-dominated something that people, you see, pastors are a lot men than women.
Yes, that's
and
true.
then also, to lead people, it's not something that a lot of people even accept, that if a woman pastor is preaching to you, talking to you, like they feel that a man should do that. And then you have other things that you have to do. One of the key things that have helped me, when I heard this here, I was very excited, is you challenging yourself, seeing that me first before others. Okay. Because the Bible says that for they that compare themselves to themselves, they are not wise. So anytime that you try to compare yourself to people, you can't achieve. And you always have this confusion around you. So it's me and how I'll go about it for people to accept one, then also for me to achieve all that I have to. So allocate the time and see every one of them so that you don't become a very, very good or prominent woman out there, but other areas of your life too can. Because remember that after we've left our workplaces, after we've left wherever we are, people are also looking up to us at other areas. So we can't fail. We can't fail. And thank God that we are having this program today. If we allocate the times and see that all our roles are important, there is no way that you can fail.
Okay, that's a great one. So you said that there are, you have to make sure that all other aspects of your life are balanced. Yeah. This brings me to a question, but I would want Prof. Grace to respond to this question. Yes, Prof, as a woman, and then rising through the ranks of lecturer, senior lecturer, associate professor, up to where you are now, how has the journey been like? What are some of the challenges you have also faced, and how did you also overcome them?
Thank you very much, Mami. Yes, this is a question I believe I'll have to answer wherever I go.
Yes.
It has not been easy. Yes. So today, I feel happy. People are referring to me, the #1 role model. It sounds very nice, but it has not been easy. It was not a smooth journey. The road was rough. The road was muddy. But with God on our side, we are able. I have had a lot of challenges. A lot. Right from growing up, I would say right from when I was born. If I need to talk about it, I'll need a whole day to do that. But let me just touch on a few things. That I was born into a very humble family. I had a very small world. And being a very, very introverted person at that time, that even compounded the challenges. Because I didn't know much about the external world, beyond my small radius. Because I was not the type of person who was adventurous to even get to know what was going on elsewhere. The good thing that God helped me with was my brains, I will say that. So academically, I didn't have any problem. Mr. Robertson mentioned females who could be first, and yes, I was one of them. So my attention was more on academic issues. But it wasn't easy, because just for the fact that you are a female and being first, you know the name callings that will come with it. Beye, Obadende, Iron Lady, and the rest. Yes. But I knew that I had to motivate myself. I had to be determined. I had to work hard. As I was growing up and then looking behind, I realized that, as I said, my world was so small, and it means that there are a lot of females who have that kind of challenge. So for me, I wanted to move all along to the highest level that I can, so that I will have a platform like the one I have today to motivate the younger females. Rising up through a university system, to be an associate professor, to hold positions that, in a way, has been held by only men in UMaT, even just in UMaT. It has not been easy. Even today, it is so difficult. I have to work extra hard to be able to fulfill all my responsibilities. Because for me, wherever I am placed, I want to excel. Wherever I find myself, I want to do it such that when I leave and I look back, I can see something that happened because of me over there. There will be challenges. There will be times that you will feel weak. There will be times that, this kind of vulnerability, this kind of limitations my own personal life and the challenges I've faced, there are times that, those things will come so strongly. And if I don't take care, I'll just settle into those things. But I always try to move ahead of that. Leave all those negative things behind me and move on so that others can look up to me and also become the dream women that they want to be in future.
Okay, that's a great one. That's a very great one, yes. Then again, I'm still thinking, overcoming these challenges. I've been wondering, when it comes to finances, Ms. Rosalind, I'm sure you'll be able to help me with that question. So for you as a woman in the banking field, how do you think women are actually working to achieve an equal future when it comes to their finances? How do you see it from you as a woman from the banking field?
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Women, you could see women strive. You see women going into male-dominated roles. You see women doing marvelous stuff. Sometimes we come into contact with women and we are amazed by their thoughts because they find a solution to a problem. And sometimes we ourselves don't know that these problems exist, but they are able to cave things out. But there are still challenges. Challenges in helping women, challenges in helping them grow. We still have women, the young girl going to school, coming back into the kitchen, being in the kitchen the whole day, instead of doing their homeworks, doing their other stuff that their brothers will also be doing. In the finance world, you see women still concentrating on their work and still taking care of the family, running around, trying to look for other supports and stuff. So it is quite tough. It's still tough for women, but they are growing. Looking back from where we came from, we are moving forward, I think so.
Okay, so from the presentations, it looks like women have a lot on their hands. There's a lot of things that women have to do at the same time. Now, how do we manage this with our health? Because they say a healthy mind lives in a healthy body. So how do we manage these stress levels? In fact, COVID has even brought a lot of things. So how do we manage all of these things we juggle as a woman with our health? Ms. Fumi here.
Thank you very much. We know that health is very, very important. If you want to be successful in life and you don't have a healthy life or you are not healthy, there's no way you can achieve what you want to do or you can be successful in whatever you are doing, be it in school or doing a business in any kind of form. So health, there are so many determinants. When you want to talk about health, there are so many areas you can touch. And I would say that health is an investment. For you to have a healthy lifestyle and do whatever you want to do, you need to invest in your health. And investment means taking initiative, taking an effort, consciously doing things that will bring you healthy lifestyle. And I will first talk about food. The food that we eat, it contributes a lot to our health. There's this saying that we are what we eat. Yes, it is true. If you eat anything, it will show in your body. And if you are conscious and you eat healthy too, it shows on your body. If you just get up, you buy food anywhere, whatever that you get, you end up being obese, and obesity comes with its own complications as well. So first of all, what do we eat? What are the healthy foods that we can take so that it will bring us a healthy living? First of all, we need to choose right. And the right foods that we need is wholesome food, the raw foods that we see in the market. Contomere as an example, vegetables, fish, lean meats, and all that. And little fat. So some food can be served so attractively attractively, but it may not be healthy when you eat them. So you eat food like barrier with garden egg stew instead of going for a fine food like pizza or fried rice at a restaurant. So as young ladies around, if you go on a date with a guy, we want to eat the fine foods, some nice tasty pastry, pizza and all that with the cheese touching on it. At the end of the day, is it a good investment you are making to your life, or you just reaping it in future?
But I have a question there.
Sorry.
Okay, so we are eating right. Yes. I still have a problem with the pizza thing. So if I go out to a restaurant, should I order something like barrier and garden next to you when I can have pizza, when I can have some drinks? Should I still order barrier and garden next to you like you're saying? Can't I once in a while, have the pizzas, the cokes, the nice such things? Can't I?
You can. There are certain foods that you can do. There are certain things that are doable, but when you overdo them, it will bring you challenges in future. And there are foods that are very good for growing up children, like milk, cheese. But growing up, these things, when you overdo them, it will bring implications over your health. Okay, so once in a while, you can eat the pizza, but you shouldn't be always going for the refined food, cheese, milk, and all that.
Okay, so let's say in a week roughly, how many times can I take pizza in a week?
Oh, in a week.
Or say popcorn or spring rolls or those things. How many times?
In a week, pizza, no.
Hey.
You can take it once, occasionally.
Yes. Well, Dennis, are you here?
You can take it occasionally, but it shouldn't always be pizza, fried rice, fried, French fries and all that. Instead of even taking fried chicken, you can request for grilled chicken. Okay. And with that, the fat content is reduced. Instead of accumulating the fat, whilst you are young, you may see nothing wrong with it. But growing up, in future, when you are 38, getting to 40s and 50s, you may suffer from cardiovascular diseases and all that.
Okay, well, I will come back to you. But I want to ask, how about our mental issues? Mr. Counselor is a helper, so how about because with all the stress and everything, I have a feeling it would have pressure on the way we think and then our mental health. What do you think about that?
Yeah, thank you. With the current state in which we find ourselves with COVID-19, there's a kind of stress within the system. Everybody's afraid of, when I step out there, what am I going to meet? If I go to the market, what happens? Even amongst us as students, even as we sit here holding this mic, there's kind of fear, stress on us. And this is indirectly affects our mental state. More so being students, it even affects how much we can absorb as students. And so it is very important that we take good care of our body, just as Madam said. Taking good care of our body means you eat well. And that means you avoid the junk food and other things. We also have to exercise. Exercise is very good to help refresh the body, burn a lot of fat, and then maintain good mental states. We also have to avoid the news all over. Today, I'm sure we're a bit okay. COVID-19 news was almost every day there's a news going on, and it was putting a lot of fear. We need to reduce the amount in which we take in news that put fear in us, and rather switch to reading. At the time you have to listen to news that relate to things that put fear in you, it's better you read or think about things that makes you happy in life. The more you think about positive things in your life, the more the brain refreshes itself. The more you appreciate things of God. How many of us even prayed this morning? How many of us said, God, we thank you for giving us life? Good. You see, the more we appreciate the little gift God gives us, the more the brain gets refreshed, the more we're able to absorb and do things happily. The more happy you become, the less cardiovascular diseases you attract to yourself. So our mental health is very important for us to take care of by eating good food, by exercising, by reading, by consuming all the positive stuff of life, and we're getting to the background the few negative things that affect us.
Okay, thank you very much. Counselor said something about God. I would want to ask Lady Pastor a question, but before Lady Pastor, let me ask Mami Esi Esaba. You are a student and a student leader as well. So what are some of the challenges you have been facing in these COVID times, especially when it comes to academics, social life as a student, student leadership, all of that? What are some of the challenges you're facing?
Thank you very much for this question. As a student, talking from a student perspective, COVID has really laid a lot of implications on us, especially academically. Some of us, if not for COVID stepping in, we had no idea about how online learning was. So we faced a lot of technical difficulties, how to access a particular course, how to stay online, and sometimes we even had to always complain about data because we are not used to this. And this caused a lot of delaying in completing our syllabus and all that. So it caused a lot of implications on us. I think if not for COVID, we're supposed to be in our second semester by now. But because of that, we are now in our first semester, which has drawn a lot of things back. And also socially, with my association, Women in Engineering, we had lots of projects that we had structured for the student body. But then because of COVID, we had to put some away because we can't have this kind of social gatherings, we can't go to places we want to go to. So we end up having to sweep some of our, let's say, aspirations under the carpet. And then just sometimes go virtually, like maybe if you have a meeting, it has to be virtually. And we cannot attest to the fact that having virtual meetings are not that effective as having it. Yes. So it has really caused a lot. We have had to put away so many things we had in mind and all that.
She mentioned something about data. I think we would also have to look at how we can manage our finances in these COVID times. I'll come to Ms. Rosalind when it comes to that. But then let me ask LP. So there was a God factor. We are all striving for excellence. We all want to achieve the best. When we wake up from morning till evening, there are lots of things that we have to do. Now, can we achieve excellence? How can we achieve excellence when we leave God out?
Thank you very much for the question.
Because sometimes from morning till evening, the task is a lot. It's also what happens when we leave the God factor out too.
Okay. Thank you for the question. You know what? I always say that the devil is a very deceptive person. Look at the time that you spend for all the things that you do. A lady's makeup, dressing up, your hair, everything. Then as you woke up in the morning, so I always ask people, if you forget anything at all, ask yourself how you came into being, which means there is a superpower. It's somebody who is controlling you. Somebody brought you to being. When you went to sleep, how did you wake up? So at least for us to be grateful, when you get up every morning, you need to talk to that power. I'm using that word because I know some of us are Christians, some are Muslims and things. So that your inner power, that your power, the strength, and I will say God, He created us. So how many minutes will it take you for doing that? And that and that is where you draw your strength from. Now, I came to realize one thing, that a lot of us have challenges, even having time to pray. I don't want to go too deep today on prayer and quiet time, like every morning, because it's like a pill that you are taking for your strength. He created us. He gave you the ability, the intellect that you have. Who gave it? I just started to think about it. So that, then, how do you go about it in this? I call something atmosphere creators. So it is becoming difficult for you to naturally get up and say that I'm praying and I'm reading my Bible. So get atmosphere creators. By the grace of God, all of us, we hear good music, I would say spiritual music, then preachings. So as you get up in the morning, what will help you to have contact with God? Just switch on a very good spiritual music. It will just tune you naturally to start praying.
I want to ask something. Okay, so for some of us, we believe our mom's prayers keep us going.
Yeah.
So how about that? My mom is home praying for me.
Is that wrong?
Must it be an individual something?
The Bible says that work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. He said your own. Mama's prayer is very good. My mother can pray. But remember, if it's a generational something. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Your mom is doing it for you. As you are standing here, who are you doing it for? So who fills in that gap?
Okay.
Do you understand me?
Yes.
So you need to do, and how do you even know it yourself? It's like you are saying that I'm working, I'm getting money, but I won't save. I won't build because mama and daddy built a house for me. The house I'm staying in was built for me. The car I'm using was given to me. I won't buy my own. But if somebody had not done it for you, what do you have done? So okay. I will plead with all of us that we all have a power that controls us. And as Christians, I will say that God is the ultimate. Even for you to have that mind to go far, to achieve whatever you want to achieve, you can't leave the God factor out.
Okay.
You cannot leave the God factor out.
So please, you can't leave the God factor out.
Yes,
you can't.
Everything.
Oh, all right. Okay, thank you very much. Yes. So about what Mami Isaba said, she mentioned something about data. Now there is COVID. Everywhere make hard. Madam Rosalind, everywhere make hard. Now how do we as students, especially those in the senior high schools and then the universities, how do we manage our finances, especially in these hard times?
Okay, thank you. So, Mami, right?
Yes.
You have to reduce your expenditure. I'm sure you have probably some allowance that you'll be given maybe on a monthly basis. So you need to stop the Chinese, the pizza. Stop the airtime. If you do airtime 100 CDs, try and do 20 CDs or 50 CDs and bundle. Use more for data. If you do that, you get some money. You actually be learning how to save. Okay. Warren Buffett was asked once on CNBC. He said that he bought his first shares at 11 years. I did not know what I was about at 11 years. But he even said to himself that he regretted not starting early. So that means we can do a lot with the little loss or trouble that we take from our parents or whatever money that you have. You must also get a budget. Get a simple Excel download on your phone. We all have smartphones. So there
are senior high school students as well. I'm sure they don't have smartphones. So what do they also do?
Okay, so with the money that you have or you're being given, the first point applies. If you're giving money every time, you can reduce certain things that you do. The purchases and the taxi that you take. If you can wake up early and rather walk, it will be better. So you can keep the money. You can start T-bills as low as 50 cedis. So if at this age you can start saving, you will create wealth. You know, you cannot create wealth if you don't have a habit of saving. So for you to get whatever you want to have, you must learn how to save now for your future. Okay. So you can also get, you can also get a job during holidays. Your loan back, you can get an internship where you be paid so that you can save up some money and invest in yourself. Okay, something of great value that you need. Knowing your vision or where you want to be.
Okay, we will come back to you, Madam President. I want to ask Vivi Bella a question. Lady Vivi Bella. Yes, Madam Rosalind just mentioned that they can sometimes, especially for the university students, they can sometimes go on internships. Now, how should these students behave when they go for the internships? Because there's a big problem there. There's a big question mark there. So how should these students behave when they go on internships?
You know, thank you. When I spoke to some of my friends, especially in the mining companies, but what they usually complain of is that when these students come for internship, of course, you have the book knowledge, but what goes down at the workplace is totally different. And they come and behave as though they know everything. They will not give even their supervisors the chance to even make certain corrections. Sometimes you get to the workplace and you hear your superiors calling their colleagues by certain names. As soon as you get there, you just start calling them by that. They are not your friends. They are not your colleagues. You went there to learn. But you get there and you become a boss of your own. And especially in the mining industry, we have a lot of it's a male-dominated area. And so they will patronize you, they would make you feel good. And if you don't take time, you will cross the line with those people who are supposed to be helping you, shape you, and teach you on the job. So when it comes to attachment, for instance, it is very important to understand that you went there to learn. You did not go there to make friends. And so if there are things going on which has nothing to do with you learning, you have to take yourself from there. Some of us, especially the ladies, when you go there, there are certain work. Both of you are, let's say, mining engineers, a guy and a lady. You go there and then the guy is going onto the field. They give him roles that he goes onto the field. You are so comfortable sitting in the office. Though you are both, how do you call it, mining engineers. When they give you, they say, hey, this one is too much, so let the boy do it. Who told you? Who said you cannot do it? You are just comfortable. I went to audiovisual last time, and there's a lady there. I told her, when the guys are going on the field, madam, follow them. Don't make them use you in the office. You have to believe in yourself, know that you can do it. You are both being trained. Both of you have technical competence, the degrees you will have at the end of the day. But when it comes to the soft skills, trust me, you have to build it yourself. You have to learn. What are the soft skills am I talking about? Be on time, communication, you should be a brand on your own. When you come to work, they know what you're about. As soon as your boss comes, let me just say this. I did my national service at Efian Kwanta. When we go to work, we all go to work, and the guys, they usually want to take the lead role, and I don't allow that. If I have to do it, I do it. It got to a time when my boss is going to run late, he will call me. Are you in the office already? Say yes. I was okay, I'll be back later. Because he knows I can take care of the place. But if I had branded myself or go to work and behave so lazily or think that I should just be seated and the guy is doing the work, they will not. So when you go on attachment, you should come as a brand, do the things you need to do. That is the only way they can favor you. They're not going to give you a job because you're a woman. No, all the criteria is there, everything is there. Take the opportunity. Do what you need to do. That's the only way they'll ask you to join them or go.
Okay, all right. That's very nice. That's very nice. Now, in a male-dominated field, in fact, what can you do to stay relevant? Progress, help us with this. What do you do to stay, in quotes, relevant in this male-dominated field? Give us some apple.
All right. Yes. What do we do to stay relevant? I will say that we need to work hard. We need to be determined. We need to recognize that it is not going to be easy. Because if you want to solve a problem, the first point is to be able to identify the problem. If you have not been able to identify any problem, there's no way you can solve a problem. So, we should come to the realization that it is not going to be easy for us. So for me, what I do, because it is not going to be easy for me, I need to work harder. Because when I'm doing the same work with a man, I believe that it will be easier for the man than me. Why? Because I have other responsibilities. So if we have to spend the same amount of time on the job, he can easily spend that time. I cannot. And so I need to catch up when probably he is sleeping. If you talk about women in general, if for nothing at all, you take time to attend to family issues, and that is a time taken out of your job. If you do not try to catch up, we will always be behind. So you want to feel relevant, and yet you have a lot on you. What do? Take care of all of them. Like Lady Pastor said, if you need help, ask for help. There are certain things that you do not have to do yourself. You see? So ask yourself, among all the things that you have to do, what are those ones that require that you yourself must be the one doing them? Set your priorities right. Another thing I do is, I love knowledge, and I don't care who teaches me so that I get the knowledge. When I get into an office, I wish some of the secretaries who have worked with me were here. I do not mind asking the secretary to teach me how the office runs. Because as far as, irrespective of my degrees, irrespective of my rank, that person has worked in the office and I have not been there before. When I get there, I need orientation. So apart from talking to my bosses to help me with certain things, I also talk to the secretaries a lot. If somebody is doing national service in the office and there is something I need to get to know from that person, I will ask. Sometimes I write letters I will give to my secretary to proofread it for me. I think it doesn't belittle me. Rather, it will make me more relevant, because if there's a mistake, if there is S that is omitted, the secretary points it out to me. Before it gets to my boss, the letter is airtight, and it will be my signature under the letter. So I do these things to remain relevant.
Wow,
I also
amazing.
sacrifice a lot, honestly. I sacrifice a lot. People who have worked with me, maybe not everybody, but at least most of them, they make me feel that I work hard and they love the way I work. And the thing is that when I leave the office, I always want to leave a vacuum that is difficult to fill.
Wow. Wow. I'm really enjoying this session, but we are really hard pressed the time. So we're going to pause here and then open the floor for questions and probably contributions from the audience. If there are any questions, well, as they prepare their questions, let me ask one final question. It's been on my heart for a very long time. Now, there is the notion that an empowered woman is full of disrespect and pride. Is this true? Is this false? LP, tell us something.
Thank you very much. I'd want to add something small to what Prof. Grace said.
Okay.
The key of humility.
All right.
And when Ms. B was also talking, the key of humility. You see, when you are with people, one of the key things that makes Jesus, our Savior, powerful is humility. See, to die on the cross is a shameful thing. But he humbled himself. He made himself of no reputation. And after all this, when you mention the name Jesus, we want to be saved. He has saved us. It has brought us power. It has opened us for us. So, key of humility. And can you imagine working with a professor, all these big people here, and they are humbling themselves to learn? That brings power. Because immediately he says something that the letter is airtight. It's her name under it.
Yes.
But you see, some people, somebody held. And as it's going, the person's name will not be mentioned. It's her name.
Yes.
And it's the key of humility that has brought us out. From creation, God actually made women helpmeet. You complement the man. So I want to also throw this caution that if you can do very well as a woman, always give reference to a man, be it your son, a boy, a little whoever, or in the entity of a man, if you see a man, give them reference. Because if you can go high, they are, you can't twist creation, how God made things. Whether you like it or you can't twist it. So that is it. 2, you asked me a question, let me add this one. In the Bible, a lot of women excel. Deborah was a judge. God used Queen Esther because he also listened to the uncle Mordecai. Why? He took good counsel. So we should bear that one in mind, that women excelled a lot in the Bible. Lydia was a merchant. I can go on and on and on. And let me tell you one thing. All the professions that we find in this world, they are in the Bible. Everything is in the Bible. Can you imagine? So I am encouraging you, and I'm so happy and touched by all the things that you have said, especially Prof. Grace. It is not true that a woman who has been empowered is proud. It is how you go about what you have received and what you portray. That is what is going to show. And listen to me, pride does not pay. The Bible said that God, he resists the proud and he gives grace to the humble. Anytime that you come low, you receive help. People are ready to stretch forth their hands towards you because they consider you are receptive. But if you are proud, you cannot. So if you're a lady here and you have risen, one of the things I will urge you to do is learn how to talk. That one, if you have to go for a school for it, please go for it. How to answer questions. And also, I would say that it's not those who use a lot of please, please, that makes them humble. No. Or when you are talking, you bend your knee. That makes you humble. Because some people, they have bent their knees, but they are standing, actually. So it's not that way. You see, it's an apparel that you need to wear. So it is not true. If you want to be proud, you will be proud. But if you really want to achieve much, you have to be very, very humble. And the key thing that will help you, basically, is learn how to talk. And learn how to relate with people. Both small, as she said, when you enter a place, you are calling somebody by name Joe Pie because they are their mates. Then you just you also try to call that person. It's out of place. At least we have the basic word, say, madam. Use those ones and you will escape. So please let us try to the key of humility here. The key of humility. I know it's because from our backgrounds and things, we are not trained like that. But we need to do. Finally, I want to use myself as an example. At a point in time, I was in the same branch with my husband, pastoring. He's a mining engineer working as a pastor. And you know this, in the house, the setting is different. When you come to church, it's not the same. So I don't call him daddy or husband or something. He doesn't call me mommy or something in the church. When he comes, he's a pastor and we are working. Then, at a point in time, there were changes. I'm just coming, I want to just concrete what you asked.
Okay.
And then I had to report to him. So you've come for a meeting and you are being asked a question, why didn't you do this and this and other people are there? And I had to get up and answer. So when you come to the house, I'm your wife here. But at the church, it's like I'm working with my senior pastor. So I got up and I mentioned his full name, Reverend George, as please, I couldn't go for those because in the house he knew that I was busy with the children. But I will make it up after this meeting. I'll make my calls. I will do this. I could see that he was spying me from the left of eye like this. So after the meeting, I'll do my best to do that. Then I sat down quietly. When we went home, then she told me that God bless you so much for what you did. Because I was expecting to explain yourself. Because he asked to explain, and I could have used antics and styles to prove that although he's my husband, you know, I can become, but immediately I went down. And that also changed the whole face of the meeting, because even if her wife had just stood up, my home is saying, you know, and I spoke up, then you did. You can't do that.
Yes, yes.
So I am trying to appeal to, let us try the key of, no matter what, you are the one paying the person, the key of humility. You will learn and have a teachable spirit. Allow yourself to be taught over and over and over again. You will gain mastery when you are taught over and over
and
again.
over
So that
again.
notion is wrong.
Is wrong. Thank you very much. So please, an empowered woman doesn't mean you should be disrespectful from what you've learned today. Now we are still on the questions. We are receiving questions. Okay, Mr. Kwanzaa.
Please, before the questions section, I want to acknowledge the presence of Associate Professor Yakubu, the Dean of Railway Engineering. Please give us a wave. And we are reminded that there is a washroom right at the exit, so if at any point in time you feel pressed and you want to ease yourself, you can easily go there. So for the question and answer section, we'll take 4 questions at a time. Our specialists will note it down and then they will answer accordingly.
Please feel free to ask us your questions. Feel free.
Thank you, moderator, and thank you for the opportunity. It's refreshing to hear from able women who have been empowered and who have challenged themselves to this level. I look at the population and I see a lot of our secondary school ladies. I want to plead with our women on the panel. I want you to use one challenge in your moment that almost broke you, but you weathered the storm and you are become a pediatric nurse. You have become a counselor, you have become a banker. And our mom is an acting provisor who's a professor. And our mother who's a minister of the gospel. If you could give us one challenge that perhaps at the age they are, you storm through, it will help us. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kwanzaa. Yes, the second question, there's a hand up here. And this, Mr. Kwanzaa's question will be answered by...
Okay, thank you for the opportunity and then the council. It's very timely. I want to ask, I think my question is quite in line with that of our president. How do you deal with depression? Because we are trying to be great, we are trying to be successful, but we do a lot of things, put in a lot of efforts, but it looks like the results we have, we don't get it. In that context, how do we deal with that depression? And then my second question is, you get to an environment where you possess equal qualities with a man, but just by the mere fact that you're a woman, you are denied. Practically, in that situation, what should be my response? Thank you.
Greetings to everyone here. I think I want to answer one of those questions. I'm a mining engineer. I came to UMaT and I'm now working with GMC. During my JHS, SHSs, I was selling. I'm a typical example of someone who has lived with people all my life. But you see, when I get to the classroom and the teacher is teaching, I don't joke. Because this is the only time I can learn. I don't have any, because right from school when you come at 2 o'clock, you have to go and sell. I sold tomatoes, rice, name it, banchin, cassava, plantain, everything, you got handkerchiefs, duster, think of it. But you see, when it's time to learn, when I'm in the classroom, please don't joke. Because this is the only time I have to learn. And I don't have any, who is going to hire the teacher for you to teach you something? I don't have an extra classes teacher. Neither was I having a phone or an internet. Test books, it was an issue to buy. Because it was not easy. Like I've told you, I was living with people. So the only thing I would have is my exercise book with my notes, which, you know, the time I'll read it. We didn't even have electricity. I'm matching with Bobo. If I say Bobo, like, it's more like candle. If you, in those days, the orange sellers, they have this with, yeah. So I'll bring it outside, look through my notes, and that'll be the time to learn. So I'm encouraging all of us. Okay, learning is a continuous process. If you can't do it alone, seek help. Your friend might understand it. It's not only your female friends. And you see, people who have helped me in my life are mostly men, because they can easily grab the whatever is being taught. So don't feel shy to go to your fellow classmate who is a man or a male for tuition if your teacher teaches you and you don't understand. And to our theme, achieving an equal future in a COVID-19 world. You see, when COVID-19 started, many people lost their jobs and a whole lot of things. But then people started innovating, and that has brought us this far. And to each and every one of us, innovate is the way to go. Forget about anything. Forget about you studying mining engineering and thinking you are going to get a job in the mining industry. It's not going to happen, because most of the people who went outside because of local content and other things, they are back home. And the few jobs we have because of COVID-19, many of us are even working from home. So it is time to put on your thinking cap and be very, very innovative. In that way, we can achieve an equal future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. Please, the last question, there is a hand up there. We take that last question and then we get the responses from our panelists.
Thank you. Please, pertaining to the question you asked the panel about leaders, about ladies attaining higher heights, and the notion that they are full of pride and their arrogance.
Yes.
With the submission our lady pastor gave, I really appreciate it, but then I would also want you to expand it, because sometimes it's not necessarily that the ladies are proud. Considering Ghana as a country, okay, there are certain men, respectfully speaking, there are certain men that are full of the African mentality. They don't appreciate ladies reaching to the higher heights. So anytime a lady is visionary and wants to achieve a greater height, they want to try other means of kind of pulling the lady down by kind of injecting some inferiority complex. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I think that pertaining to that, there are some times where majority of the men also want to just have their way. So they bring up that notion that ladies at that point are arrogant just to suppress the more things that are coming up or the more things that we are raising. So I think that's also one of the factors. Not necessarily, I don't think that every time a lady has to be too submissive just to support what the man thinks. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you get it, yes. Okay, so the responses. After the responses, we take the next set of questions and they will be done. The first one was depression, how to do with depression. So counselor, you help us, and then Ms. Mausi, you also help us from the health point of view.
Well, let me say that as a human being, going through the state of stress, anxiety, and depression is normal. Everybody in one way or the other might have undergone through a kind of a stress or anxiety and probably depression. When you are depressed, you realize that whatever you are doing is not going the way you want it to go. Sometimes you feel so sad, you think people don't even value you. When you find yourself going through stress or depression, the first thing you need to do is that, as a student mostly, try to maintain your focus in life. Everybody here, I'm sure, might have a goal why he's in school or why he's here. Make sure that that focus, you don't deviate from it. Make sure that that goal that you have enough information. If you do not have enough information about what you want to achieve in life, any little obstruction will let you drop it. So you maintain that focus, that goal that you have in your life. Then what you need to do, occasionally slow down, so that the pace at which you want it to run is not going. And so you become so frustrated. You slow down, you take a break, and you reflect on yourself. What have you done so far that went so well? And what are you doing when it's not going the way it's expected to go? When you do this reflection, you're able to identify what you can do well and what you need to revise. When this is done, you need to talk to people. When things are not going well in life, you are supposed to have a counselor, a pastor, and a mentor. Identify these people and share your goals with, share your problems with. It is not just anybody. And here, the key word is not just anybody that you can talk to. Talk to a counselor that you trust, a counselor that has a track record, a mentor that is ready to be of help, a pastor that understands the area in which you find yourself. So that such people will support you to grow out of that depression and achieve the goal that you want to achieve. Learn to appreciate, and I always say that this song that people sing for free, giving thanks to God, anytime you appreciate the Almighty, it helps you to appreciate what other people around you are doing. It helps you to appreciate yourself. The occasions when you're able to do a single thing, appreciate yourself. And I just go out, buy a Coke and drink. For being able to achieve a small step. Celebrate yourself. This is one thing in Africa, we don't do it. And so somebody may have all the money but yet not being happy. Because he's unable to appreciate and celebrate his own little thing that he does. Occasionally, leave the room, leave your bed, leave out, go sit somewhere, enjoy fresh air. Just go and enjoy nature. Observe the birds singing and praising God. The wind blowing with the trees moving. Watch the sky and say, wow, God, you are wonderful. These things will relieve you out of your depression. You will come back very wholesome. If it is not working, see a medical practitioner.
We are seeing her right now.
Thank you very much. I think with the management of depression, he has said it all. So the little that I'll add up is that find out things that make you depressed. You need to identify that first. Because what will make me depressed will be different from issues that will make you, another person also depressed. There are trivial things, and these things usually is based on our constitution, our type of person that we are. There are people who are extroverts. There are people who are outgoing and all that. So the things that will make another person moody or depressed may not affect those individuals in any way. And we need to talk about our issues. As he rightfully said, find a trustworthy person, not just any person. Because there are people that we may feel they are good, quote unquote. But when you get closer to them, these are the people who can destroy us. And then if all the things that he outlined couldn't help you in any way, you need to seek a practitioner advice, as in coming to the hospital to seek a psychiatrist or to help you go through, assess you, and then find out maybe there are issues with your brain. So we may do investigation to ascertain what is actually happening to you, then we may help you from there.
Oh, okay. Even before I go to the answer, those who have my number and see my status, I think around December, that's getting to the end of the year, I made a post, and the post goes like this. I want to thank myself. I want to thank myself for enjoying my some sanity. I want to thank God for going ahead to do certain things I want to do. In fact, appreciate yourself. There are certain things, nobody will do it for you, like Counselor just said. So I said, okay, thank you. Thank you for trusting in yourself. You know, if you try to compare yourself to others, that is when the problem starts. You have to be yourself. You should understand the things that makes you happy. If you don't understand those things and you feel that it is someone else's duty to make you happy, then the problem starts. So try and appreciate yourself all the time. If you want to look good, look good. If you want to go out and go and chill, go and chill. Maybe that is what will bring everything down. Then, and so like the lady said, sometimes you are in a workplace, both of you have the same qualities or qualifications, but they choose the male over you. Give them the reason not to choose them over you. Like I said for the first time, we all have the technical competence. All of us. I'm an environmental engineer, you're also an environmental engineer. What else should I do to guarantee my stay there or to ensure that the bosses choose me over other people? That is the soft skills. I keep saying soft skills. It is very, very important. Soft skills are important. We go to work, both of us. We go to work, and then I'm beating deadlines. Like Prof said, when you write memo, it is airtight. It's because you get help. When, like Lady Pastor said, when you need help, go to people and ask. When you have problems, go to them. If you have certain ideas, don't keep it to yourself. Go to your boss, explain. This is what I think should be done. That is my opinion. But if you think it's not, let's go ahead with yours. Let them believe that you can do the work. You don't expect that the man is doing everything. I came to this school at the lab. When I came for the interview, we were 6. Trust me, there were guys who were already working in that environment, and I have zero idea about what I was coming to do here. But I went on the internet, found what really they needed, the kind of things I should have before they can pick me. I came to yob them, trust me. After yobbing, I made sure I performed on the job. And the whole school, I don't know, but I was the only lady who is a lab technician. And my lab technician job is not those when I go and sit in front of microscope and all that. I was cutting rocks. When I come to work, like you see the way I'm dressed, that is the same way I dress, because I come as a brand. I will not dress anyhow. I will come, do the work. I remember Dr. G.M. Tete. At 6 a.m., he saw me at work. He said, what are you doing here? I said, look, Doc, I need to beat some deadline. The students are going to come at 8. And there's something I need to give to them to work. If I don't come at this time, they will not be able to get it. So when it was time for me to be moved from senior staff to senior member, they looked at all these things. I remember Professor Siamu on the panel was asking, so will you be able to train the person who will take over from you? I said, no problem. No cost to the university, I will train them. If I had gone for that interview without performing in my role, I don't think I would be moved from the senior staff to senior member. Work. You can look as beautiful as anything. If you don't work, nobody will give you any opportunity. Do the work, hard or not. I was paid for that job. I have to prove myself. I am certain anybody from geology department will say I did my work very well. So when there's another opportunity, I'll be given. So you and the guy, give them the reason not to overlook you. All the things you need to do it, and you will never be overlooked.
All right, thank you very much. As to the humility, there is a way that you can communicate or do your things without bruising anybody or letting the person feel that you are disrespectful. How you pass the information and your tone, your gesture, and the motive behind. Why you want to achieve something. It's a male-dominated field that you are there. You find yourself there. 3 of you are at the office. You are the only female. And there are things that you have to do, maybe for a promotion. You are doing your own, then let's say they are saying things. One of the things I'll plead, I learned the key of silence. Is that some people will say that, oh, one kasao namwa, or something. But at times when it gets to a certain place, the key of silence, it mutes your opponents and it numbs them because they don't know what you are thinking. They don't know what you are coming up with. So the next moment that they see you, they couldn't plan for what you wanted to do. You caught them unawares and you are off the hook. You are gone. So please, learn how to communicate. And you can say your things or pass your information around without being rude, without bruising anybody, without hurting anybody, without anybody tagging you that when they get higher, they are proud or they talk in a certain way. No. You can just come out. So just know how to do it. So it doesn't mean that you get all the time brown ones. That, like I said, brown ones is not bending down. Yes, please, yes, please. People watch them. People say, yes, please, yes, please, yes, please. It's not correct. Because in your usual talk, is that how you talk? What is your name? Yes, please, my name is. Can I close the door? Yes, please, yes, please. Have you heard people say that? Please, can I drink water? Yes, please. You see, it's not normal. That is not how you are. But you can just do your things without, so it's not like that. But you can still set up. And I just want to say something small about innovation. I remember I opened a second shop. I think he can attest to the fact that during this COVID season. Why? Because I realized that, okay, when you're looking for a gift and you find it difficult. Then I also said, okay, I have this other side of me that can do the creative stuff, that can put things together. So I think every one of us here, especially the young ones, develop your talent. You see, Bible says that a man's gift will make a way for him, and it will bring him before great men. So as you are an engineer, you are a medical doctor, you are this. There is another aspect of you. I don't want to say craft, but develop your talent. Because it can easily also add up to your value immediately and change something. So it can be in an office, and end of year they have to do gifts or something for people. And because you are there, you are an engineer, all right. But because you are there, and you have that skill of making puzzles and things, immediately you've saved the company or the institution some money. Because you buy your wrappers, buy your things. I have the craft, I will do it for you. So as Engineer Ruth said, it is true. Because in this era, at times when the school, whatever we learn, our certificates are not coming up and giving us the monies that we want, let our talents come to play. Abari, as you were even talking, I was telling myself that, hey, develop your MCing skills, because people are taking money out of this. Public speaking, they call them to come and MC their programs and things, then 2,000 cedis is gone. 1,500 is gone. Just some few hours, it has entered your pocket. So let's develop all that aspect, and in this era, we will survive. With God, good counseling, having the right footing in education and things, we will excel. The world is hearing of us very soon. So young people, you will do well as we are in this time.
Okay, thank you very much. I've enjoyed the responses as well. In fact, we are way past time, but I want to give one senior high school student the opportunity to ask a question. So I need one person from an SHS to ask a question. If there is no hand up, then, all right, okay, so there is no hand up. I've enjoyed this session. A senior high school. All right, okay, so one senior high school. Quickly. Madam MC, yes. Just a question and then we round up. There are lots of questions.
Please, I want to ask a question.
All right, dear, ask.
As a first child and a lady, I have been adopted to someone to take care because my parent doesn't have money. And due to that, I'm a fashion student. I'm needing some money for my practical aspect. And I will go to this person for money, and he will say, before I will give you the money, I have to do this with you before I will give you the money. And me too, I need the money for my practical aspect. should I go on with him? And at the same time, I have siblings, and I have drawn a challenge to myself that I want to be someone in future to take care of my siblings because my parent doesn't have money. And I am asking, one of the counselors said we have to go for counseling you have to go to someone for counseling. And this person I'm going to, how much do I trust the person? Will the person help me? Will he or she, will he support me due to that? Or if I am in such condition, should I go on because I need the money for my practical aspect, and due to that my parent doesn't have? Please help me.
Thank you. I think I'll start answering from Reverend's point of view by quoting the Bible. The Bible says that if the Lord has not bored, the border boards in vain. You see, we all have our dreams, of our aspirations we want to achieve. But then the ultimate person who will help us achieve that dream is the God Almighty. God uses human beings to come in our ways to support us. The devil also brings people to distract us from achieving our dreams. And so as a young lady, if you need assistance and you go to somebody, the person wants to trade it with personal something that you cannot offer, something that will desecrate your body as a young lady, let's say for sex, you are supposed to maintain your integrity. To say that, no, I am sorry. I came to you for this to support me, but if you cannot, please, it's okay. What you need to do is to pray and seek the face of God. God in his own wisdom will raise somebody that will support you to achieve your cause. I'm sure there have been several women who have gone through challenges such as this. Those who were able to stand on their feet, they were able to survive and they were able to achieve their dreams. You may not have a straight path. I don't think almost all of us have straight paths in life. Sometimes obstructions divert, and before we are aware, God takes us to where we are going. So if anybody wants to trade your womanhood just to give you the little support, stand on your grounds, be assertive enough to say no. That if it is only this that you take before you support me, please, I'm sorry. Leave, and I know God will find a way to help you. Now, talking about trusting somebody. You see, God gave us 2 ears, 2 eyes, and 1 mouth. Whenever you are interacting with somebody, words are coming out of the person's mouth. You are supposed to listen with your 2 eyes and your 2 ears. Listen and make meaning to see what the person is saying. Does it make meaning to you? Does the person have something behind what he's saying? As soon as you begin to doubt the trustworthiness of whoever you are dealing with, please, you need to reflect on yourself. It is not every counselor, every pastor, every elder and experienced person that can be trusted, that can help you solve your issues. And so whoever you approach the person opening your 2 eyes, opening your 2 ears, to make meaning of whatever kind of advice that the person professes to you. If it is not helping, leave. What am I saying? If the advice, the counseling, the support somebody is giving you is not going to help your cause, achieve your dreams in life, leave that counseling session and seek the face of God. And at the end of the day, God will prevail in your life.
Okay, thank you very much. We are almost rounding off, but a lot of people from the audience are sending me messages that we should please allow for some time. I'll take it from the chairman. Chairman, please, are you allowed to have a few time to collect questions for questions? Okay, all right. So chairman has given us the go ahead. Thank you very much. We are opening the floor for 4 questions, and then please we will round up.
4 questions. Let me see the 4 hands before. Okay, so there's one hand, it's been up for a very long time. There's another hand here, so that's the second hand. The third hand is here, and then the final hand, the last hand. Oh, there are lots. Wow. We can't answer all, unfortunately, but we'll try as much as possible. So yes, quickly. Okay, then please let us have the questions, and then afterwards we can have the contribution, please. All right.
It's actually an answer to the question she just asked.
Okay, an answer. Okay, an answer to the question the lady asked. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Go ahead.
I want to share.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay.
I think I had a similar challenge before when I was in UMaT. There was a semester that I was coming that all my sources of finance, everybody was giving excuses. So I was staying with an uncle actually. So his wife called me at dawn before I come to school that she wants to advise me as a mother. I lost my mother years ago, so she was kind of playing the role of a mother indirectly. So she called me and told me that these days what every university girl is doing is taking a sugar daddy to take care of them. So that is the trend now. So as a mother, she's advising me that her husband cannot support me, so she's advising me as a mother that I should look for a man that can actually take care of me in school, since she and her husband also have their own responsibilities, which are their children to take care of.
Wow.
So I don't know what happened. Maybe the devil was working a double time that time. There is this man in our church who normally supports me when I'm coming to school, and he's an elder in our church. So when all my finances are locked up, he's the one I look up to. So I went to him in the office before coming to school, and then he told me he was busy that day, so he can't help me. So it means that now all my sources are finally closed. When I was in the bus coming from Tema to Takwa, he sent me a text message that he's in love with me and he wants a relationship with me. This is a man I trusted so much. Because he was a clearing agent and I know that he can take care of me. He even promised buy me a house, buy me a car and everything that I needed. Hey! So it was either I agreed to what he was saying or I let go. So I did. Okay.
Please come for mine.
Hello? Okay. And I thought he was joking, seriously, because I thought he was testing me to see whether I would agree or not. But I realized that this man was so bent on what he was saying. So I got to campus. I was still not having any source of finance. But one thing I promised myself about is I will never sleep with any man to take care of myself, no matter the situation. So I decided that I will not give in to him. So the only option, and I didn't tell anybody about it that time. I didn't go to any counselor. I couldn't trust anybody with it. So all I did was to pray. And then when I prayed, God actually answered my prayer. My uncle, who was actually one of the people giving us, he's not the one whose wife told me to go in for sugar daddy, but another one who normally supports me. He called me the following day and asked me whether my other uncle has supported me. I was like, no. So I don't know where from the money now, but he sent me the money to pay for the school fees. So all I'm trying to say is that when you depend on God and you don't give in to such people, there's always a miracle that will happen. So never give in to such pressures, no matter the situation. And God will take care of it. Thank you.
Hello, greetings from Girl Child Unit, Takwan Soyim. I was extremely happy when I entered and saw my girls, some of them here. In fact, this COVID break has really given us a hell. because the girls in school, when they went home and came back, they came double. It wasn't easy for us. Even though government said that when they are pregnant, they can go back to school, but most of them have to drop because they are ashamed to go back to school. So my question is, how would they overcome these false promises that men are giving to them that end them dropping out of school? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Our second question. We shall take our second question from the third column.
Okay, my question is, I want to ask, based on what the sir said, he said we should maintain our goals. I being here, I'm a welder, and if I'm to be in the shoes of a lady who wants also to be a welder and has a parent who is saying that they are not going to allow their lady to become a welder, my question is, what are some of the things the lady has to say to her parent, to advise the parent to also be in the same shoes with her and help her to maintain her aim? That's my question.
All right, thank you very much for your question. Yes, that's the third hand. And then the lady in white will be our final question.
Okay, my question is, as a lady here, my aim is to become a lady pastor. And here is in case my church, we don't have a lady pastor. So what should I do?
Elfie, this question is for you. Okay, our last question.
Hello to everyone. So I have a few things to say before I ask my question. So going back to the topic on depression. I've been a student here and I'm in my final year now. And I want to say that ever since I've been on this campus, our counseling unit has never organized any program with regards to mental health for the students. And with everything I've heard, if we are all being honest and we can be frank with ourselves, it's as if the panelists are relating mental health or depression to religion. But then that's, to the best of my knowledge, that's not the basis of, religion is not the basis of mental health. Some people are depressed, but they don't know it. It's not about what God will do or God has done. So what if I'm a Muslim? What if I don't believe in God? What if I'm a traditionalist? All this, everyone is saying, oh, God will help. But it's like we are forgetting the fact that it's not everyone that believes in God. Maybe there's someone who believed in God, but then due to circumstances in his or her life, has decided that God hasn't helped me out through my experiences. So now I'm turning my ways, or I'm looking forward to this person to help me out. The second thing is about the panelists who said something about women communicating in our workplaces and we should know how to talk. I've been a class rep since year 1, and it hasn't been easy, especially dealing with men in this UMaT community. Let me just bring it down to the school level. It hasn't been easy. Men in this school expect women to be at a certain level. Whether you are in an authority or you are a class rep, like they just have this notion of UMaT girls. You have to be at this level to us. And it's difficult, like, working your way through them because women in general are being objectified on this campus. That's the fact, and no one will come out to say it, but it's a very tough thing for us ladies to deal with. You are constantly being objectified from your lecturers, to maybe people you are supposed to go to, your classmates, and other men on campus. It's like wherever you pass, the objectification is coming hard on. And it requires strength, to the best of my knowledge, it requires strength to deal with this kind of things. And on that too, our female lecturers are mostly not receptive. We have a counseling unit, and it's a man that is heading the counseling unit. And most of the people who are on this campus, most of the people who are mostly depressed are the ladies. Before we can even go to the counselor, we have to think of, will he say, oh, what did you do to make this happen? I'm not saying, Mr. Counselor, please. I'm sorry, but these are some of the things we go through. When I came in year one, I had a very, very tough, I always tell my roommates about it, but it was very tough for me. Because in my home, I was brought up to speak up, say things the way it says, be confident. Because I'm the only girl among 4 boys. So my father always tells me that don't let a man make you be this kind of a woman. So when I came to UMaT, I had it in my mind, this is a male-dominated school, and I wouldn't allow anyone, no matter who the person is, push me into a box to be a kind of person they want me to be. But then in UMaT, you are supposed to be a certain kind of way.
Okay, I want to come in quickly. So the question, I'm trying to get the question right. I'm trying to get it well.
Yes, the question will come.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
okay,
it's
okay,
coming.
okay. Let it come, my dear. Okay,
Yes.
all right.
The question is coming.
Okay.
Moving on from that, please.
Okay.
With all the SHS students and the woman is saying, I think the right question we are supposed to be asking is that, how do we ladies deal with sexual objectification in our schools and in the community as a whole?
All right, that's a great question. Okay.
So, to not waste more time, because if we want to keep going, there's a lot of things that we need to say. So first off, I'm trying to ask the counselor that if you are not a Christian and you don't believe in God, how do you deal with your depression? Because it's not everyone that will want to go to God for answers. And I'm asking the female panelists who said we as ladies should learn how to communicate. How do you communicate when you already have when the people you are dealing with already have a fixed mentality of who you are supposed to be as a woman? Like, there's nothing that can change it. And then to all the panelists, I want to hear from my president, Mami Esi, please, and any other panelists who would want to say something. How do we as ladies, as young girls coming out, looking forward to be like you people in power, how do we deal with sexual objectification in our schools and the community as a whole? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, my dear. Now let's move to the panelists. I think. Can you please have the other microphone?
Okay, I think I would tackle the wilder question first. You see, in life, one thing we need to know is this. Whatever you have in your hand, try to understand it. If you need to read around it, ask questions about it to know the value of what you have, do. This is a challenge that most students have. I want to be a doctor, my father or my parents said I should be a nurse. I want to be a teacher, they said no, I should become a banker. I want to be a welder, my parents are saying no, they will not allow me. My dear, the first thing you need to do is to have enough information for yourself as to why you want to become a welder. Why that is your passion and why that is your interest. Now, when you put this across, your parents say, hey, a woman, why? Why do you want to become a welder? No, that is not an area for women. You simply and humbly will have to ask your parents to explain to you why they think that is not a female-dominated area or that is not an area for you. Your parents will give you all the reasons, which sometimes you may have answers to that because you have read more about it. And so you take your time to discuss with them why you think you want to be a welder, being your passion, and where welding can take you to, which tomorrow will be able to answer the reasons why they want you to be a nurse or a doctor. Sometimes, why will your mother want you to be a nurse? Is it because to come and take care of her or him? In most cases, that is not the reason. They think that nurse, you have a prestige in the society, you can get a good paid job and all that. But they may not know what the welder will also bring up. So when you're able to explain to them all the good things surrounding the welding that you want to do, there's a likelihood that they may buy into your idea. However, if your parent insists and do not buy into your idea, you call in a second person, an opinion leader, a counselor, or a teacher, also to talk to them. When you do all that and it fails, as children, parents are in authority. So you maintain your focus and your dream. Toe the line with them. Let me tell you that there's a lady in this school who wanted to be an engineer. The parents said, no, you'll be a nurse. She did all she can. They said, still, you'll be a nurse. She accepted, I'll be a nurse. She went to school, finished as a graduate nurse, and then, well, I have satisfied you, my parent. Now I want to achieve my engineering. She's here doing engineering, and she's a nurse. She maintained her focus. She had a challenge from the parent, but because she believed in her dream, when things became hard, she has achieved that nurse that they want. Now you have gotten the nurse. I also want to achieve mine. She's here studying engineering. So have all the knowledge, all the information about what you want to do in life. Discuss with them, bring in an opinion leader to share with your parents, hoping they will understand. But if they don't, maintain your dream and then go through whatever it is for them and make sure that the ultimate dream, sometimes what they even want us to achieve, when we achieve that, becomes a springboard for us to achieve what we want in life. So do not fight your parent because they are saying no, they don't want this. And so as a result, in that case, I'll not even go to school. No. When you have done all what you have to do and you are still not being able to convince them, go through with them, but maintain your focus because that is your interest. That is what you succeed well in life. Maintain your focus. Don't easily throw away your dream. Now, okay.
For me, I can share my experience. When I was young, my dad was such a difficult lawyer. And he will bombard you with all the English and the thoughts that he thinks you should do something. You will never have your way. So for some reason, he wanted me to be an accountant. And I wanted to do law. It was strange that he was a lawyer, yet he wanted me to be an accountant. And I said to him, no, I want to do law. But then, when I was going to uni, they had changed the law degree to be a second degree. So then he says, oh, thankfully, then they threw me into School of Admin. So then I had to do accounting. But I said to myself, I didn't want to do all the figures. I don't want to see figures. So I changed it. But you know, one thing you must know is that learning doesn't end. You never stop learning. Till date, I'm still going to school because I want to learn something of value. So you always have to try to learn, acquire knowledge, read, Whatever you want to do, there's no limit. Once you have life, you can make it. You can read around it. It doesn't mean that if you're 40 years, 50 years, you cannot learn. Learning is non-stop. So please, don't think that when you finish what your dad says you should do, you can't achieve what you want to do. It is your dream, and it is your life. So you must learn to make it grow. Invest in yourself. Okay.
Just 1 minute. After SS, I told my mom I want to be a fashion designer. She just looked at me and just left. She didn't even mind me. So I didn't even talk about it again. So I went to UCC, did lab tech, got a job here, started working, making some income. Then 3 years ago, I enrolled on Joyce Abebio. So currently, I'm a fashion designer. I wanted to do hair. I do all my recaps. I do other things. So all we are saying is that, yes, some parents are very difficult. They will never change their mind on what they have told you. But don't even, sometimes you don't want it, but you enter and now start enjoying it. So they said when the opportunity is not available, the available becomes the opportunity or something like that. Now you have it, concentrate on what they want you to do. Later on in life, like Mr. Robinson said, you can do any other thing you want. You are now an adult, nobody can tell you so. That is it.
Thank you very much. I think I'd like to sandwich a lot of them. On the lady of school, have you spoken to the one in charge of your things buying? Because I believe that practicals, you don't need it at a go, it's in sections. So if you don't have the things, when somebody finishes, you can plead with the person that, oh, can I use your things to do the practicals? So that from the borrowing, there can be a way. Then you also talk to the madam that, madam, when the list I can't afford, so how best can I be helped? Then also, I don't know whether your school is a day school or a boarding school, but if it is a day school that you are going, maybe in that you have to start finding little things to sell that you can generate money to pay those things without going to a man, and also be helpful. Because there are some people that are very helpful to them. When they come to me, there is no way I can turn my back on them. I'll have to help, because a lot of you two are a bit lazy. You are not serviceable. So when you are going to people for help, it's like, ain't it possible? You are not sendable, you are not doable in anything, then all that you want is help. If it has not occurred to you that, can I wash your things for you? So just little things also, it makes way for you to get little helps from a lot of people that you have no idea. So be serviceable. Two, you mentioned something about you want to become a lady pastor and in your church. Listen, because of we human, the way we are, our nature, that is why we have ranks and titles, so that we can be brought under subjection and be disciplined. When it comes to God or whatever you want to do in terms of spiritual things, titles, in quotes, doesn't really matter. Wherever you find yourself, you can do the work of God. So you, in your church, whether they allow you to bear the titles or not, sister, do the work. What can you do? Talk to people, pray for people, go to street to preach. You see, the actual work is outside, not in the church. When we come to church, we are just polishing coins. Over and over again. The same people come to here, they go, the work we don't do, me, myself, and Pat, including the congregation, we are all the same. So God is helping us. But the actual work is out there. Those who have not been in. So the work is very big, and we need a lot of people. So titles aside, you can do the work. Now, my lady, as you said that in a dominated world, how to talk and things, there is a way that you can be a lady boss and get men to work for you without they realizing that they are working for you. Look at your anatomy. Do you know why God created us like that? For softness. Naturally, our makeup, every lady, on the average of a scale of 100, now 95, your body physique alone tells how soft. This is why we are different from men. If you put a man here, the body physique alone, and your own, you see that you have a lot of softies than the man. It should tell you something. that you naturally, you are somebody that should neutralize grounds. Naturally, a woman, you should be able to neutralize grounds. That is why you have the Delilahs and things. What did you do? The weapon. You have a weapon that the guys in your class, you can become their best class rep. Let me give you a simple scenario. Hello, class. Please, can you submit your things? You guys, you are the best that we can have. Please, can we beat the deadline at this time? Then you come again. Hello, class. Why are you people like that? At this time, you see, men are naturally egoistic. God made them like that. Even that 4-year-old boy in the house, when you talk to them, look at the way they behave. They are egoistic. And see, you have to naturally accept. And you cannot beat the status quo. You have to accept. If not, you are going to have a lot of aberrations rising up. Everywhere you go, you have men. But not that they don't like you. They like you. Remember that you are soft. And that softness is for you to neutralize grounds when things become difficult. At times, just even giving them fans. Who want fans? You guys, you are the best too. Hey, yeah, the nicest of all the A that you have. This class, the guys, hey, let's clap for them. Before you realize, they have done without, am I the one who did this thing for this girl? Before you realize it has been done. So have that one. Then I think from the beginning, you were not here when I was speaking. I spoke about your higher power. And I said that there might be Muslims here, there might be other people here who don't believe in God. And everybody and the way they reach the God that we, the Christians, that this is God, but they have their God. So why do you believe in that power? Because you know that it can do something for you. That is why you believe in that power. So the person can be a Muslim or whatever, but every one of us here have a higher power that we refer to. So as we said, God, God, God. Maybe the word God is what is bringing them, but your higher power. Because after you've learned, you've done all the things, everybody has done all that is required of them. Still, the results is not coming. Where will you go to? You go back to your source of higher power. And that is where the solutions will come from. I don't know whether I've answered your questions for you.
All right, thank you very much, Lady Pastor. Madam Wine President, I think a question was directed to her, so kindly address that. Let's move further.
Okay, so addressing what she said, I am also a female just like her, and then I understand where she's coming from. We face lots of these things on campus, and then no disrespect to our counselor, but there are some things that no matter what, you want someone of the same gender to address it because they will understand it better than the man. I feel we need to, like as an institution, to also do some things that will favor some of our ladies on campus. Because let's say if, just like we have LEMAP and we had this conference, let's say we do a ladies program, which is headed by our female lecturers. You see, when it's a student organizing something, sometimes the students don't take it that seriously. But if, let's say, it's the institution that's bringing this thing up for the female students, maybe they might patronize and then come around. Then over there, since we are just ladies, we can share what we are going through and all that. I had one student approach me. We had our first general meeting as women engineering. And then she approached me and she said, there are some things she wanted to talk about. You see, some people are very shy. They don't know how to come out in front of people. She was like, she faces this and that. But she finds it difficult approaching the male, maybe her male lecturers or maybe her male friends. And then she also feels that we are now here, Afenomaba. So she can't easily trust her female friends to tell them what she's going through. So she feels that maybe if we can do something, I'm a leader, so if maybe we can talk to the female lecturers so that at least they can be more receptive, whereby they can go to them easily and then tell them what they're going through to be very good for them. And I was like, oh, okay, then we will think about that because it's a good idea. So with what she said, I think it's about time we put such measures in place whereby we give the platform for our female students to voice out what they are going through, sexually, academically, socially, and it's really going to be of big help. Ms. Vivibella said something that even if we organize something like this, would they come? Like, I think it has also become sort of a norm on UMaT campus that hardly will you see most of the ladies patronizing or participating in extracurricular activities on campus. which is very bad. Let's say you are depressed. And we know when you are depressed, it's a bad idea to be alone all by yourself. So let's say we are holding a conference like this. Whilst you are here, you are learning something new, instead of being alone in your room and overthinking stuff. So we have to also like participate in extracurricular activities to keep us always on the move. You're always on the move, you're always doing something. You don't have time to be alone and be overthinking about stuff. You don't have time to be alone, and maybe whilst we are all here, most of the student body is here, you're alone in your room. Then that guy that maybe he's sexually objectifying you, he knows you're alone because you don't even participate in stuff. Right now, your roommates are not there with you. You're alone in your room. He can easily come there and do something to you. But if you're always on the move, like you don't have time to always sit down and be idle and all those stuff, like it's going to be better if you do stuff to keep you active rather than being alone all the time. Please, it's very important. Maybe you think you are just in school to come and learn, get your certificates, and go. But that's not it. In the real world, you can never make it by just applying knowledge from books. You can never make it. We are trying to acquire an equal future in the COVID-19 world. But here lies the case. You are living a monotonous student life. You go to class, after class, you go to your room, maybe you watch a movie or two, you learn, you sleep. That's all. That's the repeated lifestyle you are always having. You are not engaging in anything. You are not part of any organization, any club that is centered around human development. You are always on your own. And that's, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not going to help you get that exposure. Because when you go out there, they're not only looking at your academics, they're looking at your experiences, how you can work with people with diverse backgrounds. So please, it's very important. We have women in engineering, we have LIMAP, we have SRC, you can even vie for positions. All these things help build you up. Sometimes you wouldn't know, but then you'll be so like involved in your academics and then other extracurricular activities that you won't even have time to think about these like sometimes let's say suicidal thoughts and all that because you are busy. Right after doing your assignments, you have some letter to draft to this president or you have this to do to this president. So you're always on the move. So please, extracurricular activities are very essential because leadership skills are not taught in class. They won't teach you how to be emotionally intelligent in class. They won't teach you how to be a critical thinker in class. They won't teach you how to like effectively manage your time in class. It's when you join these organizations. It's when I joined WINE that I learned how to organize stuff. I've never been given the chance to speak on the podium before. It's when I joined an organization. So this is how you build yourself. So after your 4-year college education, and then your friend comes out, let's say a guy comes out with a certificate, a bachelor's degree certificate, and also certificate of being in the SRC, certificate of joining in the project and all that. And after school, all what you have is just your degree. When you enter into the working field, who do you think is going to be picked? You might think maybe you are a lady who is offering engineering, so that should be enough to be picked. But that's not what they are looking at. So please, the extracurricular activities, they are essential. So let's all make sure that we participate in all these things. Thank you very much.
Well, someone asked a question about the counselor being male. He has a response for us.
Thank you, my AC. In fact, I wish I can stand up for your response to the questions posed. That's very deep. But then, because time is fast going, let me say that issues on depression and anxiety has been addressed severally in this university. There have been 2 occasions where we collaborated with the Pentecost Hospital for the psychiatrist to come and meet us. But just as she said, UMaT ladies, you organize programs, we even come, let alone to learn. But the good news is that the counseling unit now has a female counselor. For those of you who are not aware, the female counselor is even in our midst. Miss Suchofa, please, can you own up? Let us see you. Yes, identifying the challenges of ladies in UMaT, the unit now has a female counselor, so if you find it so challenging approaching the male counselor, you can easily walk into her. And also, as part of the dreams and visions of the Vice Chancellor, the university is now coming up with gender policy, which will deal with issues that affect both genders. Gender and disability policy is on the way coming. That's the vision of our Vice Chancellor. And so our ladies, be rest assured, issues that has to do with women issues are going to be well addressed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Councillor, and a very big thank you to my audience. We've enjoyed your questions and your attention. Thank you so much, my dearest panelists. So we are ending this session. Please don't forget to set your priorities, develop your skills, love to acquire knowledge, stay humble, and of course, celebrate yourself. It's been a great moment with you all. Thank you so much. Until our next women's event, stay safe, and please don't forget the COVID protocols. Thank you all very much once again.
Let us keep appreciating them. Wow. Wow. That was an insightful discussion. I'm sure we picked a thing or two from the entire discussion. And I want to say that let us not relent, let us persevere in all our pursuits. Irrespective of the background that you are coming from, you can always rise and be great. These people who are there or who were speaking to us, they all have a story. Because of time constraints, they couldn't share, in details, their individual stories. But collectively, I am sure that we have been inspired and encouraged by what they shared with us, and will defy every odd. I know one thing, that the suffering of this present time is not compared to the glory that is to be revealed. And so whatever that you are going through now, just be encouraged and know that you can always be a great person, irrespective of where you came from. Because time is fast spent, and I know a lot of us will have a lot of questions, but the panelists are always around, and even after the program, they would be around for some time to help us. If we have further questions, we can just contact them individually for them to help us out. I would want to invite our distinguished chairperson in the person of Professor Richard K. Amankwa, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Mines and Technology, to give us his closing remarks as we bring this program to an end. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable MC. I must say that this has been a wonderful program. And the people who put this together deserve an applause. I also enjoyed the answers that came up, and the questions were also very thought-provoking. Thank you very much. So now you know that there's a female counselor who can be talked to, especially those who are in UMaT. And we also have this mentor-mentee system between lecturers and students. So for the females who want somebody to talk to, there are lecturers who are females who you can approach. The questioner indicated that you are not available. I know that they have courses to teach, but I believe that if you approach them, they should be able to have some time for you. There are also female administrators who you can also talk to. So please, if none of these is good enough for you, let me know. I'll invite a clinical psychologist to come and attend to your needs. We want you to be happy whilst here, and we want you to grow into a wonderful human being. So whatever we can do to take you out of depression or to let you do the right things, we will do it. If you need a clinical psychologist, tell me. I will definitely get one for you. There is this lady who talked about getting items for, practicals. It is interesting, about 3 years ago, we were on a project, and we were dealing with Takwa Secondary School. And at a point in time, you realize that almost about 100 people in that institution had not paid their fees. And they didn't have the financial power, both at home and from other resources, to pay their fees. We gathered a team of us together, raised almost about 600,000 and paid all their fees. If you are here and you have financial challenges, please send your name to the president of LIMAP. You'll be asked to fill a form, you'll be interviewed, and if you are genuinely in need, we will come to your aid. So that as young as you are, people do not take advantage of you. For the other people, let me say that it's not every man who is a predator. It's not every man. Sometimes all of us have our flaps shaking. But they shake not because we want to take advantage of you. No. Please test the waters. And if you realize that the man is not trustworthy, then you can walk out. But don't judge the man before you approach him. Thank you very much. I want to believe that today, as we sit here, many women are making it in many fields. If you go to the banking sector, they are there. If you go into politics, they are there. Academia, engineering, all over, you see women breaking grounds and making it. It is interesting to note that now, even in underground mines, they have female washrooms. Formerly, having a female washroom in an underground mine was unheard of because no female was allowed underground. But today, for the ladies who want to work underground, I want to assure you that there are female washrooms there. So you won't have to share with that of men. You will be taken care of. I also have realized that as women are breaking grounds, these days you have some women who are actually selling gunpowder in addition to garden eggs. And the horizon is changing. For those ladies, young ones who are here, the secondary school ladies who are here, I would want to encourage you that you dream. Think of something you want to do. Think of something that excites you. If, let's say, your mother tells you that I will not allow you to do it now, don't you worry. If all else fails, do what they are telling you, and after you become your own woman, you can always pursue your passion. Get people to help you to shape your dreams. There are mentors all around us. And look for one, and let the people guide you in the things that you want to do. Ladies today should not be known only because they are beautiful. It is not just enough working hard to become a slave queen. It is not enough. So whilst you are growing, add brains to your beauty so that you become a more rounded human being. Role models are all over around these days. If you look at the world stage, you can talk about the vice president of the US, the first female vice president, Kamala Harris. Big role model for the young people who are coming. You can talk about the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi, a Nigerian. She's there as a role model. You can talk about Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the US House of Representatives. Angela Merkel, that is the world stage. If you come locally, I hope you know that the Vice Chancellor of KNUST is a female. The VC-elect for University of Ghana, Legon, is also a female. And even in this room, the acting Pro-Vice Chancellor of UMaT is a female. And we have the Dean of the Faculty of Integrated Management Sciences, another female. So there's no excuse talking about the fact that there are no role models. But it is up to each and every one of us to convert these role models into mentors and coaches. It is not just enough having a role model. But you have to break it down for such a role model to become your coach and your mentor, so that by physical interaction, you can learn more about their success stories, about their challenges, about how they overcame depression, and be able to do likewise. One statement that caught my attention was that give them the cause to pick you over the others. Vivi Bella. Give them the cause to choose you over the others. There's a story that I heard, I don't know whether it is really true, but it's about a lead administrator who wanted to pick somebody for a new position. And they had gone through all the interview process, and they were left with two people, a male and a female. They were all so good, and it was virtually difficult to pick one over the other. So he said, I'm going to give you to the last assignment. He called the first one and said, look, my wife is receiving visitors. She wants to give them orange juice. Can you please buy me some oranges? The man said, okay. He went to the market, bought the oranges, and delivered it to the boss. The boss said, thank you. I appreciate it. And he called the lady and said, please, my wife will be receiving some visitors. Can you please buy me some oranges? The lady said, I will. She went out, then she called the boss. Excuse me, how many visitors are you expecting at home this evening? And the man said, 20 visitors. And he said, what is the size of glass you want to use in serving them? And will you want each to take 2 cups or 2 glassfuls or 3 glassfuls? The man said, 2 glassfuls. So the lady sat down, calculated the number of oranges that when you squeeze, you can get a cupful, and estimated 2 cupfuls for everybody, for 20 people, and bought 5 extra in case somebody get crashes. And when she finished, please give me your wife's telephone number. She got the wife's telephone number and took it home. And when she got back to the office, he told the boss, I've delivered the oranges at home to your wife. And based on what I have bought, everybody out of the 20 visitors will get 2 glassfuls, and there are 5 extra in case you get extra visitors. Thank you. In case you are the boss, which of these 2 will you pick? Give them the cause to give you the job. It's not about shaking your backsides. It's not about your dimples. But give them the cause to give you the job. And the last one I would have on is innovation. Innovate, innovate, and innovate. A time is going to come, maybe the mining that you are learning here will not work for you. But what else can you do apart from mining? Let me tell you that the shirt I'm wearing was sold by somebody with a BSc in building technology. He learned this whilst he was in school, and now that he's out of job because of COVID, he's picked back his sewing machine. If you are here and you are complaining about depression, please don't be depressed. Learn how to play a guitar. Learn how to play drums. Join Ultimate Band. Learn how to play the piano. Go to town. Register yourself as an apprentice. When you have some time, go and learn how to sew. Go and learn how to braid hair. Go to the mechanic shop. Learn how to use spanners. So that when you have something to do, you will not get the chance to think about depression. I remember when my daughters were growing up, after JHS, the first daughter, I went and sought apprenticeship for her as a seamstress. She's now doing masters in law, but she can sew. There's no time for depression. My second daughter is in medical school, and she can bake, because after JHS, that was her job. I went and sought apprenticeship for her to learn how to bake. Don't sit at home and start thinking about that man with 6 packs that you have been dreaming about and expecting him to come and propose to you, and he's not coming, and therefore you are sad. Fill your life with very productive things, so that at the end of the day, you can become that rounded person, that wonderful human being that you want to be. I wish you all the best, and may this second celebration of the International Women's Day by UMaT move you on to challenge yourself and be the best you can ever be. Thank you very much.
Please, you can do it better. Okay, so you agree with me this program has really been a good one and a success. So I want us to give a round of applause to ourselves for being here. We want to also give it up to all the dignitaries who spoke to us. And lastly, I want you to raise up your hand and say, I choose to challenge. So we'll do it 3 more times so that in case you forget anything here, you will challenge yourself as you go. So let's start. 1. I choose to challenge. Thank you very much. So we've come to the end of this section, and we will take vote of thanks from Ms. Diza Emefa, a lecturer from the Department of Minerals Engineering. Please give it up to her.
A very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to deliver the vote of thanks for this occasion to all dignitaries present here. I would like to say thank you to our chairman, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Mines and Technology, Professor Richard K. Amankwa, for his worthwhile words and time. I would also like to say thank you to the guests of honor for their presence here. In fact, your presence is really an honor to us. I would also like to say thank you to the president and founder of UMaT and the acting pro-vice chancellor of the University of Mines and Technology, Professor Grace Ofori-Sapon. To all our knowledgeable panelists, thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with us. We are most grateful. To all our members here, the staff, students, participants, and all sponsors, we say a very big thank you to you all. And to all our virtual audience too, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Diza Emefa. All too soon, we have come to the end of today's program. But before we go, some quick announcements that we need to take note of. Carl Bank, they have their stand at the back. You can contact them for an instant account, and also they will take you through their app. They have an app that you can use to access some of their services. And so you can meet them at the back for engagements on how to be able to open an instant account as well. Also, we'll be taking some photographs right after the program, and the list or the order of photography is going to be as follows. Kindly take note and don't leave too quickly after the program. We would have the panelists first take with our Honorable Vice Chancellor. Then we would have members of UMaT also take a picture with the panelists. We would have the panelists and Carl Bank. We would have the panelists and all dignitaries present. We would have the panelists and TASCO, FIASEC, COFTI, Ideal College, and UMaT students finally. And so kindly stay when all is said and done for the order of photography. Without wasting much time, I would want to say, let us all be inspired by the stories that have been shared here, and even as we move, we choose to challenge the various status quos that we are limited by, our vulnerabilities, limitations, and always endeavor to make a difference wherever that you find yourself. So at this point in time, I would want to call on Ms. Adam E. Ahetu to give us the closing prayer. Miss Edem E. Aheto, as she gives us the closing prayer. So let us give it up for her even as she comes to help us with the closing prayer. Okay. Finally, before she gives, if you want to meet the panelists, as we said, they would be around. And if you also want to be a part of LIMAP, I think the administrator is around, and she would be at the back. You can kindly meet her and give your name to her so that you can be a part of Ladies in Mining and Allied Professions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, may we bow down our heads in prayer. We bless you, Lord, for such a successful occasion where we've come to receive insights about women in leadership. We pray that you take us successfully to our destinations as we go out to challenge ourselves above our limitations and shortcomings to impact our world. Amen.
We have closed. We have come to the end of the program. And my name has been Jacob Atiwin Abari, and my co-MC has been...
I'm Margaret Ekwamusa. I'm actually the administrator for LIMAP, so you can see me and put down your name if you want to join us. Thank you.
We also want to acknowledge the presence of Ultimate Band. Thank you so much for giving us those very melodious, tunes too as well. So we'll start with the order of photography. We would have the panelists go to the podium as we start with the order of photography. So we have the panelists first, with the Vice Chancellor.
Thank you.